freshman year, I've sat in the audience at graduation. And during each speech, I would say to myself, what would I have to say to my class if I were up there? And each time the answer was, wow, I seriously have no idea. I'm really glad I don't have to do that. 4 years later, I still don't know what to say to such a diverse group of people. Everyone here has different dreams, different fears, different futures. Our memories about freshman year, our favorite teachers, our feelings about graduation, they all vary. Even though we all had unique experiences of growing up, there are some things we all remember. We saw an incredible rise in technology. We saw social networks become popular. Facebook became the new MySpace, and Twitter became the new Facebook. We saw the appropriate age for cell phone ownership go from 30 years old to 10 years old. And we saw texting become the #1 form of communication. But we also saw some prominent historical events, which I'm sure our kids will be reading about in their history textbooks. For example, on Tuesday, January 20th, 2009, Barack Obama, the first African-American president, was inaugurated into office. I remember watching the television in my third block math class, the way generations before us gathered around the radio to listen to FDR's inauguration speech. Already, we were in our first year of high school, and we witnessed one of the most historic moments of the millennium. We started school in 2000, the first year of the new millennium. The following year, 2001, brought with it a tragic historic event, 9/11. We were 2 weeks into second grade, and we will be one of the last graduating classes who are old enough to remember it happening. I'll bet everyone here can remember where they were when they heard the news, the way my parents remember where they were when they heard JFK had been assassinated. But in 2001, we were not concerned with national news. Many of us were caught up in the Harry Potter book series, which had started in 1998 when we were preschoolers. This last summer, the summer of our junior year, the movie franchise finished. Let's face it, we are the Harry Potter generation. We grew up with that story, the way kids before us grew up with Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys in the 1950s. These are the major events of our lives so far, the historic occurrences that will live on longer than we will. Which brings me to what I have to say to you. My piece of advice finally surfacing after 4 years of not knowing what to say to you. It is this. It does not matter what my advice is. It does not matter what I have to say to you. All that matters is that you have something to say. Like I mentioned before, everyone here remembers the same trends and events of our lifetime so far. We all have the same experiences, but I'll bet everyone here has something different to say about those experiences. Up till now, we have witnessed the major events of the world as passive bystanders. We heard news over the radio, watched it on the television, read it in the newspapers, and retweeted it on Twitter. As kids, we didn't have much to do with what happened in the world. But we are not children anymore. We will be able to vote in the presidential election this year. We will get a say in what happens, and it will matter. I know that there's a popular, cynical stigma around how much your opinion counts. It tries to convince you that what you have to say doesn't matter. The class of 2012, I ask you, if everyone in the world put in their 2 cents, do you know how much money we'd have? 16 billion pennies. That's $160 million. That's beside the point. The point is, your voice is not worthless. Like the butterfly effect. A single beat from a butterfly's wings can change the path of a tornado. A single word from your mouth, and you could alter the state of the world and the historical events to come. What do you want our kids to study about us? So, figure out what you want to say to the world. And don't be ashamed of what your voice has to offer. Find it. Find your voice. Find your 2 cents. Share it with the world.